It's the opening round of 12 scheduled for tonight's bout. If I'm the fighter with high stamina fighting a fast, speedy guy like this, and you're my trainer, what are some of the things I absolutely have to remember that you told me?
When you get on the inside, you better not make silent agreements and allow the faster guy to tie you off. You better be working, starting to take some gas out of his tank.
Gamboa able to block that punch. Yuriorkis Gamboa with a block punch.
Work the body.
Protecting his head well with his guard.
Body shot.
That's great stuff. He fires one right back after taking one. Gotta love the work by Donaire. Hard to believe that they can keep up this pace, but who cares? It's so entertaining while it lasts. Halfway through round number one. Oh, he just misses with that headshot.
Let's see some more head movement. Let's see some more head movement. Get out of the way.
Very nice job landing that counter punch, getting away from one that was coming at him. What does a fighter need to do to really build the foundation to a great career?
Well, first of all, they have to have the desire to have that great career. There has to be something in them. There has to be coal in that furnace to burn, and to burn later on. Maybe something happened to them in their life. Maybe through their parents, maybe through neighbors, maybe through coaches. Somebody told them they were never going to make it. And they go in their mind that they're going to find a way to make those people walk.
Holy cow! Just ate a big uppercut. He's in bad shape. Showing you some defense there with the block. So here we are, a new round underway, and in that last round, he got tagged. He got hit pretty hard, Teddy.
Yeah, he did. He got caught. Now, the first thing is, we all know he got caught, but why did he get caught? He has to be able to decipher that in his head. He has to be able to have the answer to that so it doesn't happen again.
He just missed that shot up top. Able to dismiss his opponent's shot, and then comes back with an uppercut. Good counter punching there with the overhand right. Nice strike after catching one by Yuriorkis Gamboa. And he's able to put his punches together. That's a nice looking combo.
Well, that's the benefit of 2 and 3 instead of 1.
Darwin's almost out of it there. He was stunned. Oh, he's hurt. He was hurt right there, but now he's grabbing on like it's a life preserver.
And he's going to have to stay there if he's going to get through these rapids.
Good defense upstairs to stay away from that offensive assault. Good block by Gamboa. Oh, and there you go. Donaire's in a bad spot right now. He's been stunned.
Some defense. Keep working the body.
Gets rid of that body shot.
Keep your hands up.
Good looking right hand after he got hit. Round comes to an end. And that's one of those rounds, Teddy, that just takes on a certain style, a certain characteristic, and that was a busy one.
Yeah, it was a busy one. Look, Joe, you don't have to look for these guys. They're right there in front of you.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think sometimes you just get those rounds where it all happens?
Because of styles. You know, styles make fights. In this case, you're seeing proof of that right there. Both guys that are aggressive, both guys that are very confident.
Head movement.
Donaire's got to realize that his work rate has really dropped off a clip. I know he got stunned earlier in this fight, but at this point, he has to at least put forth some type of aggression. He's got to get himself back in this fight.
Yeah, what you're saying is not just that he's got to do physical things. We understand that, but where's he start? Starts with the mental part. He has to behave like a pro, behave like a fighter.
Work the body.
Takes one, but gives one. Good work by Yuriorkis Gamboa. There it is! Donaire stunned, and he is hurt. He's going around now, Teddy, like his legs are made out of wet noodles.
Yeah, my mother was boiling the water because she used to make sure that that water boiled and boiled. It was never al dente. These legs are not al dente.
Blocks that belt line well. Fine combo there. Right hand followed by the left hook. He just gave his opponent a really good taste of how fast his hand speed is.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times we talk about power, and we see that power, you know, can damage a guy right away, obviously, and it can intimidate an opponent. But hand speed can do the same thing, and I think it's intimidating right now to his opponent. He's afraid to let that jab go because he might get countered with one of those lightning right hands.
Oh, that's good stuff. Firing right back with one of his own. Good work by Donaire. Nice, precise work, doubling it up by Yuriorkis Gamboa. What a chin. Can you believe the shot? Oh, that's gotta hurt. Donaire's in bad shape. Well done that time, landing the counterpunch. He was stunned and staggered. Oh, and there you go. Donaire's in a bad place right now. He was tagged. He got hit right there, but he also gave one. Solid effort by Yuriorkis Gamboa. Late goings here of this round, and he goes down. Can he survive it? So he goes down, but able to get up to his feet. Teddy, what should he be thinking about now?
Well, right now, just surviving, but if he survives, then he better figure out why he was put on the floor.
End of the round. So he scores the knockdown and now heads back to his corner. Teddy, do you ever have to calm a guy down after he scored a knockdown?
That's a really great point because a lot of times that can be the turning point, but not for your guy that scored the knockdown, for the other guy. Because sometimes when you score a knockdown, you start to think it's going to be an easy night. and you forget what you knew when you came in. That wasn't going to be an easy night. You're going to have to bring all the tools out of the tool shed, and it's important to remember that.
The defense pays off as he gets rid of that downstairs. And there he comes back with the hook by Yuriorkis Gamboa. Able to dismiss that body shot. Donaire's coming out here after being knocked down in the previous round. How important is it for him to be cautious here, to make sure that he does have his legs underneath him?
You know, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword there, Joe, because if you're too cautious, hey, your opponent, he reads it. You're not in that ring alone, you know, and then he's going to get more aggressive. So you want to go out there, maybe feint him a little bit. Let him think you're okay. Let him think you want to go after him. Let him think you want to engage a little bit, and then wind up boxing, staying on the outside, buying some time.
Keeping his hands up, getting rid of his opponent's offense. Nice jabs there by Yuriorkis Gamboa. Showing you... Oh, and there you go. Donaire's legs look shaky. He was hurt. Protecting his head well with his guard. Teddy, he went from being on the edge of the cliff to now climbing back up the mountain.
Well, you know, that's where you'd want to know if a guy recovers fast. Obviously, he has the capacity to recover very quickly.
Good counter punch. Gamboa able to land the counter punch. Not hitting his mark there going upstairs. Yuriorkis Gamboa's punch stats tell the story of that last round, Teddy. He was just the busier man.
Yeah, he was the busier man. Not big blows, you know, not real damaging blows, but he controlled the tempo.
Good counter punching there with the overhand right. Boy, you gotta love being his opponent, right? You come into a fight like this tonight, you're so worried about getting off your punches, landing accurate punches. Well, here it is. Not gonna move. Holy cow! Donaire stunned and staggered. Clearly hurt, but holding on.
He's hugging him like he just got home from Christmas.
Just an excessive amount of holding here. And he goes down again. Will he get up from this? This fight is over. Yuriorkis Gamboa is going to have his hand raised by way of KO. The 10 count reached his opponent out. He's the victor.